Hello, I'm Claudia Granger, and today I would like to talk with you a little bit about ultimate self-esteem. When we are born into DNA, and we are also born into 7 generations of family beliefs and disbeliefs. If you're interested to know more about that, then you can inform yourself about Bert Hellinger's family constellation. And there is a great method to analyze and let go of family disruptive energies, let's put it this way. So we will be conditioned from childhood on through several experiences which can be quite shocking. Traumata can arise, and other things which keep us disturbed, so that we cannot operate from the ultimate self-esteem, which is our natural birthright. You see, we are born a diamond, brilliant in the rough, but through the many aberrations of life, we become faceted and therefore brilliant. So how do we do that we can accept this inner brilliance of which we are ultimately born with, and let go of anything which is not conducive to our well-being? First, we need to know the platform on which we stand. What is our belief structure? What do we believe in the first place? Because our subconscious wants to prove us right. Our subconscious is, how should I say, the brake or the gas pedal, depending on how we use it, because our subconscious again wants to prove us right. So it will lead us where we believe we would go. And if we have certain subconscious beliefs which hold us back, it's like having the brake on the gas pedal on your Porsche functioning at the same time. Four back, it stutters. Have you ever driven a car where you forgot to put your handbrake off and was still on and you couldn't go far, right? Something was off. So that's when we are not working with the subconscious consciously and bring it into the open, that we can see what's actually there. Then we will always drive our Porsche like this, or even in a circle, into the same old, and we're wondering why our super new Porsche is going in the same circles and not going where we want it to go, and hold on the steering wheel and we want to go right, but it goes the same circle. So, 2 words will lead us to our subconscious beliefs. Always and never ever. Have you ever examined your subconscious beliefs? Like, always this happens to me, never ever can I have that. Always and never ever lead us to our subconscious beliefs. So check it out. And then take a piece of paper and write, from now on, I allow. From now on, I give myself permission to. Now and allow, now and permission opens the door for a whole new world. So we go from a small box to a bigger box. And how can we go to the ultimate freedom box? And to understand ourselves that there is no more box. That's actually free will choices, as we are the co-creator in this life. That's to understand that we are part of God's dreaming. We are part of God walking here on earth, experiencing Him, her, itself, similarly like what we do here. It's actually the same thing. If you have ever read Neil Donald Walsh's The Little Soul in the Sun, where the soul asks God to experience him with God's forgiveness, God said, sure, but you have to have a volunteer soul who allows you to forgive and do something unto you. So little soul says, I will do that, but you have to remember, I'm exactly as who you are. And the little soul said, no problem, I will remember, and of course it didn't. So there comes in the karmic implication of something's done, something's wished for, and then it happens, and then we have to forgive to remind ourselves we are all equally coming from the same source. We are ultimately different parts of the same thing. So when I asked my guiding ones in the early days, if God is good, why there are wars, and why kids are born sick, and why there's a disease anyway, and why? I had always a lot of questions. A lot of questions get you somewhere. My guiding ones always encourage me to ask a lot of questions. So I also encourage you to maybe post some questions underneath, which we can address another time. So my guiding ones said then, you're seeing things right now from a human perspective, but you're not seeing it from a soul perspective. And I asked them, what do you mean? Soul perspective, human perspective. Isn't it all the same? And they said, yes, it is, but it isn't. I say, how can that be? Well, they said, you are the same. You're a walking aspect of God on this planet, but you don't remember it. And why? Here's why. They said, we try to explain something to you which is beyond the mind comprehension for you at this moment in time. But you will understand because you're that too, a walking aspect of God on this planet. So we will give you an example or a picture which is maybe easier to understand. So they used the picture of the tree of life, the eternal fruit and flowers, symbolizing the eternity of thought, always with the prime creator source. The trunk symbolizes the beingness on higher realm. The knobby part of the root where it goes into the earth in terra symbolizes where some people talk about the seven heavens, to which we obtain after we die, where we're still in an awareness level which is a little bit limited, but we're going in and higher up. The line here symbolizes the in-between world, between the heavenly realms or the eternity part, and then the in terra part, in earth, in terra. What that means is not just incarnations on this particular planet, but incarnations in many different realities and many different planets. So it's just the symbol here is more about an awareness level. And then you see the root strands, like a tree has many roots happening at the same time, so also our soul. Our soul has many soul strands ending up in a soul spark. And as you can see, there are many soul sparks happening at the same time. So your soul has many aspects incarnated right now. And then you see these little triangles symbolizing for a reality where we are born in a body, whether it's an etherical body or a physical body, where we have good and bad traits. So that's why I made a little plus and minus here in this little pyramid. And circle is for our reality. So we have a reality like a theater play of life, where the soul incarnates to in limited form. So God experiences him, her, itself through the myriads of souls, through the myriads, billions of lifetimes, over and over and over and over. And actually that's the soul purpose. Some people talk about, what's my purpose? The purpose is to experience beingness, the God self, in the myriad of different viewpoints, lifetimes, experiences. And why the pyramid was chosen? Very simple. If you do not judge, if you understand that this positive and negative is the big pendulum swing of our existence, where we feel the most a point and counterpoint, the plus and minus, the good and bad, which is just form of existence at this time, in the theater play of time. When we understand that, we will go the pyramid up. And you see, when you go the pyramid up, the plus and minus zone will become smaller and smaller and smaller till we are on top. I invite you to think about it. Think about yourself standing on the foot of the pyramid in Giza. Huge pyramid. And you're standing there and you feel so small and the pyramid is so big. And on the very right is a positive charge and on the very left is a negative charge. So now with your efforts you climb up and up and up and up. And you realize again, the right and the left comes closer together. And on the very top, on the head and capstone, which is currently missing at the Giza pyramid, but when you stand up there, you have the wide view of what's really going on, what's in the distance, what's going on there. And when you look down, you will realize, wow, down there it's really small, it's not seemingly so important, because now I have the whole wide view of what's really going on. And the same in our life. This is just an analogy. This is just a picturesque analog for you to understand of who you really are. So, if you go to the top of the pyramid, then you symbolically experience the God Self or the Godhead. That's why the Freemasons use this symbol with the all-seeing eye on the capstone of the pyramid as the all-understanding, as the Godhead, because you're operating from the soul awareness level. And if God made us in His image, what does that actually mean? It means that we are part of that God source, prime creator, indefinite, infinite existence. That's who we are. I have to say it, yes. Compartmentalized in many, many different forms, many different lifetimes, many different trees are in a forest. Yeah, many different forests is on one planet. As there are many, many galaxies. When you ever have seen this little video floating around where how small we really are, we are standing on the planet, there's the Earth, then come the other planet and the Sun, and then we see the galaxy, and then we see the universe, our universe, and then you see many other galaxies, and with many other suns, and all of a sudden one is aware like, wow, this is vast. And that's the same with us. Wow, we are vast. Right now we are just focused on a tiny, tiny, tiny aspect of who we really are, because we put blinkers on. That's when we are going through the lower astral levels through which we are born and through which we return back to the higher regions. That's where we forget who we really are, eternal soul. Having a human experience, a limited experience at this moment in time. And who would not like to experience? Who would go into a movie where everybody is Superman and Superwoman? It would be totally boring. The same with God's self. God wants to experience Him or itself through the myriads of happenings. And they're not really good or bad. Now the key is to understand that you are actually a co-creator. That you're part of this whole setup. That you're not victim of this setup. That you actually agreed to this. That might be sometimes the hardest point to understand when we are going through suffering right now. And COVID-19 has given us a lot of spiritual reflections, but also for some people very physical, hard suffering. So I'm not poo-pooing this, I'm not making this smaller. It is a very intense experience. But let me tell you a little story. So when I asked my guides further, okay, got it. We are walking aspect of God on this planet, fine. But how do we actually sign up for this experiences? How do we actually what causes us to one person being famous, another person being not, one person having so much, another person doesn't have? How does it all work out? That seems so unjust. And here's what they said. Okay, we show you. But know this. There is a law of consequence. There is a law of cause and effect. So if you, for example, want to play the part in the theater play of life of a murderer, in another play you have to be murdered. If you want to be a famous doctor, you need a lot of patience. So you will also be patient. If you want to be a despot or a king which has a lot of subordinates, you will have to be a subordinate. So there's the law. And most of us experience only this lifetime as a reality. Some of us remember many different other lifetimes. I, for example, was born conscious aware. And when I was a child, I remembered many lifetimes. I remembered 3-4 lifetimes in India. I remembered a lifetime in Cambodia. I remembered a lifetime here in the Southwest as a stable boy, helping horses out of a burning barn, being Native American, having had what we would call alien lives on different planetary systems. I remembered it all. Very interesting. And for those who are interested to experience those, I would recommend to sign up for an exploration of your past, or what I would say parallel, because ultimately time and space does not really exist, and everything is happening at the same time in different kind of reality bubbles. So when people say time and space does not really exist, it's actually true. It's just a fictitious reality. It's like a dreaming, or it's like producing a movie. You're in a movie, and you are the star. You're the center of your creation. You're the center of your movie. And actually, it's God's movie. God is the producer. God is the creator. God is the sponsor. God is the script player. Because He put that law of cause and effect into place. So the law of cause and effect is not bad. It just is. So when, again, you want to, let's say, play the part of a murderer, then you will have to be murdered in another lifetime. Or maybe even the same one. So there is a law. Now, would we judge the actor who plays the part of a murderer in a theater play or in the movies? No. We might clap him on the shoulder and say, good performance. Or we would, let's say in the UK, they admire the monarchy and they find it, a sense of pride and glorious. And other people say, oh no, here in America, we have declared our independence from this sort of thing. So is the one good or bad? No, it just is. So your life just is. And coming back to this example, so I asked them, how do we sign up? And they said, well, let me show you how you signed up. So they took me by the virtual hand and led me to something which looked like a white golden room. It felt to me like a cafeteria, waiting hall, something like this. And then there was this huge globe of this earth. And they said, okay, you have this job description in this lifetime, awakening people to their God self. And you have some karma left over from some other lifetime, some balancing act. And now you have your free will here. Do you want to be incarnating in a male or female body? And I said, female. Where on this planet would you like to explore this time? It's one of the most dense planets. And so I said, well, female body, then like Germany, with all this history conflicts. And then it came to the volunteering. And who would volunteer for, giving her the biggest learning lesson? My mom volunteered and some other personas or souls volunteered. And then I was waiting. to incarnate. So I had a lot of free will choice in that, but also certain things were, because of the karmic law of cause and effect, put upon me. And as I was waiting, I saw a lot of gold and white figurines walking around, and each time if I had incarnations with a soul of this golden figurine showing, then I saw faces, sometimes one, sometimes two, sometimes 20, sometimes many, many, many. And here came one of these figurines, and I saw the face of a woman and another woman, and she caught my eye as I looked at her. And she came close and said, "Oh, you're waiting too. I remember you from this and this lifetime. And guess what I signed up for too right now? I'm also waiting. I signed up to be a scientist, and I'm going to go to the Amazon, and I'm going to get kidnapped and raped. Isn't that exciting?" And I thought, oh boy, I hope she remembers that she actually signed up for this. See, this is through the forgetfulness in the lower astral level that we do not remember that we made these decisions. But there is good news. You can revise your decisions. You can say, enough of that experience. Been there, done that, check mark. I want to live now from my ultimate self-esteem, from my inner-born brilliance, from my awareness of God's self, from my soul awareness level. I want to now be an active co-creator. When I look at people's birthdays, I'm not doing the regular numerology. I can see what coordinates the soul signed up for to come in, and with that, with which strengths and weaknesses and learning lessons and gifts and talents too. There is an entrance fee to be allowed to have these experiences, as we describe them, good or bad, but they're just experiences. And lots of souls actually would like to have this experience because they're intense. They're not boring, they're not boringly blissful, they're intense. And God's self likes intensities of explorations. If we would live constantly just in bliss, 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 we get blissed out. But it wouldn't give us this intensity factor of experience. And that's what we are here for. God experiences him, her, itself through us. A walking aspect of God on this planet. And we have to say, we are not just a puppet or marionette when somebody else pushes the strings and we have no say. We have a say. When we are activating the awareness. You see, every thought creates form, creates a reality. Every thought you ever had. Wouldn't that make sense to pay attention to your thinking? A lot of people right now with the COVID-19 and whatnot, or in general, struggle about money. It's never enough. It's hard to come by. I have to fight for my right. I have to fight for the money. I have to work hard for it. I have to slave for it. Whatever it is. Not too many people have this awareness. Oh, money comes easy. Always comes easy. No worry about it. I'm taken care of. Most people struggle. With each thought, you're saying it's not enough. The money's not enough. You're creating that in your reality. Oh, subconscious says, and working with higher self. She wants this not enough feeling, more. So we give her that. Oh, it's not enough again. Oh, I always have not enough. I never ever can enough. See from the beginning of our little talk here, the always and never ever lead you to your subconscious automatic drive from your Porsche. So be aware and mindful of what you're actually thinking and put out into the world, because it comes back to you like a boomerang effect, manifold. Let that sink in. Be mindful of your thoughts. So how can we then make a reprogramming and be conscious co-creator on this planet and come to this awareness that the universe is a rich one and the universe doesn't operate of scarcity? Who have counted all the stars in the universe? Who have counted all the sands, grain sands in the beaches? Who have counted it all? It's just evolving and expanding. Even the universe to this day is evolving and expanding, like we are evolving and expanding, like God, Source, Creator, Prime Creator, Source is expanding. The universal knowledge is expanding through us and our experiences. It's constantly expanding through our awarenesses, through our experiences. So coming back to this down-to-earth money problem. So what do? Instead of saying, oh, this was not enough, this was not enough, we are looking into the positive. When did you get something which surprised you? When did you get help which surprised you? Most of the people, especially you're watching this right now, your needs are most likely met. You have food, you have shelter, and ultimately your needs are met. You've been taken care of. So focus on that, what you have, not what you don't have. I have a spouse who loves me. I have a child. I have freedom. I have enough food. I got a paycheck. I got unemployment. I can take that time to reinvent myself and learn something new. I got a stimulus check. Or I got this, that, the other. I got a car. Even if it's old, I got one. I got this. Focus your life and your thinking on what you actually have and what you can be grateful for. Because what you think about gets bigger. What you focus on multiplies. So when you're focusing on the have instead of the have not, that will multiply. And the more you say, I don't have this, the more you're pushing that what you want away. You're creating exactly the opposite of what you want. You say, I need more money. Well, guess what? You will create more need of more money, because that's what you're saying to the universe. I need more money. You're creating the need for more money. Instead of saying, wow, I have this. I have a roof over my head. I have clothes to wear. I have friends. I have this, that. And so to become more of it. I have a talent. I have brilliance in me. I am a worthy aspect of God walking on this planet. I don't have to be perfect in this lifetime, because again, that's by design. Nobody in this whole wide world is really perfect. Why? Because we have signed up for limitations, good and bad areas in our life. So how can we make that and bring that together to operate from the highest potential? By saying, I love myself for who I am, with my strengths and my weaknesses. And then at that moment, other people's button pushing can go right through you, instead of being in your system like a fishhook and causing wounds and festering. So acknowledge yourself as who you are. You are perfect in your imperfection. There's a song somewhere out there, like going like, I love you and I love your perfect imperfections. I always find that intriguing, this wording, because that's what we are. We are perfect in our imperfections in this lifetime, as we are creator and theater play of life explorers right now. We are exploring God's self in limitation. We are walking aspect of God on this planet in a limitational setting. Yeah? So, coming back to the theme of self-esteem, when you manage to understand on which platform you're standing, what drives your autopilot, where do you put your brakes on, and then let these go, remedies that get rid of the imprints, get rid of these imprints from shock experience, PTSDs, or other traumas, or family limitational structures, the small boxes and then the bigger boxes, and you get rid of those boxy thinking of this is possible, this is not possible, no, we don't do this, we can only do that, no, this is bad and this is good. When you let that go, then you're coming into this co-creator self. Then you're coming into this soul awareness level. And when you're there, you're operating always from this good enough. I'm good enough. I can have this job. I'm good enough for it. Of course, again, limitation here. If you are not qualified at all for that, you might, in that particular moment, don't get it because it's unrealistic. However, if you have the wish to get a particular job and you're good enough for it, and you exude this confidence of, I am good enough, and if it's in my highest interest to get that job, I will get it. My favorite saying is this: the divine in me leads me to the right things at the right time. Let that sink in. The divine in me leads me to the right things at the right time. I can relax. If it's in my best and highest interest, it's happening. Just relax and be. Another trick about manifestation is not just to be aware of the thoughts and utilize them accordingly, but also understand your joy. What would be life without joy? Oftentimes, my clients don't even know what brings them joy. Then I ask them, what would be your biggest dream or the most joy, or what brings you joy? They oftentimes don't know because they're so entangled in the rat race of what they think they need to do, the have-tos, that they totally forgot about the love-tos. What would you love to do? Who would you love to be? What would you love to experience? And then it's not necessarily always going overnight. But say, I would love to be a millionaire. Wonderful. If you're samskaras, your tendencies from previous lives allow that, sure, why not? But then you have to have the mindset of such person. You have to understand that the universe is a rich one. It's not operating on scarcity. With a scarcity mindset, you will not get there. So, in the class, Your Ultimate Self-Esteem, we do all the things I was talking about. We are exploring the platform on which you stand. We are getting rid of all the imprints which do not serve you any longer. We give you tools, implement tools that you understand that you're actually a co-creator and can, each time a limitational belief comes, let that go, so that you're step by step establishing more and more of this awareness that you are a brilliant aspect of God on this planet, and that your brilliance of who you are is in demand in this world. That's your purpose. Your purpose is being. And your purpose is being this awareness. The ultimate purpose is wanting to be no other than who you really are, eternal soul, and understanding that. and living this dream, this artificial dream, this theater play of life with awareness. And that awareness will lead you to God awareness. Self-awareness comes first to lead you to God awareness. And that's the soul awareness I'm talking about. Interested? If you are, you can sign up below with a link on the Brilliance in Demand class. Yes, your brilliance is in demand in this world. And see how I can help you there to come to your soul awareness, the limitless self. See you soon. Bye-bye.